All right, folks, we are live
on YouTube.
on YouTube. Ivan, you're in a big screen. I'm in a small screen.
Yep. Okay.
And we've promised them a few things. A wash and talk. And
Right.
we also want to let the folks know they get to choose what you do. They get to choose, does Ivan use a brush? Does he use a sponge? Does he wash with rinses? Does he wash with Incredible Suds?
Yeah.
Oh.
Don't get too far ahead. We'll get them starting to choose right now. So, because we want to get this, we don't want to have you here for hours. First of all, are we going to be washing with Incredible Suds or rinseless wash? The first 10 that answer, that's what we're going to be doing.
Okay, and also, could we get the audience? I know you can't really see me, so we're going to probably be stepping over each other with words for a second. Can we get the audience to let us know how does the sound perform for you? I'm on a big microphone. He's on a wireless mic. He's in Omaha. I'm in Utah. Although it sure does look like we're in the same garage as it looks on the internet. How's the sound doing? Ivan, all I see is Incredible Suds. I think we're going to go with Incredible Suds.
Incredible Suds? Okay. So let me go get the pressure washer set up and the foam cannon. I'll be right back. Keep them entertained for a minute, Nick.
Oh, man, I was born to keep them entertained. You want entertainment, folks? The Perfectly Safe brush is back in stock. You can get our amazing pole. You can get the brush separately. They're going to be priced accordingly. If you get the bundle, there's a slight discount. So go check it out on DIYdetail.com. We've had, I think, the biggest sales day that I can remember. Everybody's been waiting for these brushes. I feel like we're about to sell out of them again. Not to worry. I think we have more on order, Ivan. Can you hear me on that?
Yeah, so I don't think we'll be selling out. We got more than enough. And yes, we do have more on order. So we should be getting more in next week regardless.
You know what? I feel like Pablo says waited a month and a half checking the website every day. So the folks here, they wanted the Perfectly Safe brush. They may not have realized that on the debut of the brush, the handle would also be coming into stock. So you wanted a plug-and-play method. When we started the whole brush adventure, Ivan's like, folks at home, just use your regular broom handle or whatever you've got. It will, the threads will be the same. And we had a big discussion about it. Some people want the plug-and-play method, Ivan.
They definitely do. And I have to turn the pressure washer on. I'll be right back.
Okay. All right. Rob Piesler says, just bought one finally. Anyway, it's nice to have the plug-and-play option with the extendable pole. But if you don't want that and you just want the brush you want to put on your broom handle, do what you want, guys. Do what you want. Drake says, just ordered the bundle. PSB has been great. I was skeptical. We actually met someone at SEMA, Ivan, who got the brush when it came out the first time, and they were so excited. They're like, I actually got it before it sold out. I love this thing. So people who have tried the Perfectly Safe brush, their reviews are spectacular.
Everyone's have a good day with it. So you guys asked for soap. Soap it is. Here we go.
All right, we're going to play with sound here. He must have some great noise canceling. Oh, no, wait a minute. I can't hear his sound. How's the sound, guys, on your end? So I have my AirPod in so I can hear him. He has also on an AirPod. We're trying to make this technology work. I can't actually hear through my speakers because I turned those off. And I'm curious if you guys are hearing a big, loud sound. Do you want me to mute him or turn him down? Or does it sound okay? Okay, there must be some kind of noise canceling built into these microphones or StreamYard or whatever we're using. So what Ivan's using is Incredible Suds Type 2 in the, I believe, Quiver foam cannon with the Josh V handle there, the Quiver handle. Ivan will explain it when he's done washing, but maybe try not to until you're done. Let's just get the foaming done. Of course, you want to foam the entire vehicle from top to bottom. That is not my Jeep. It looks just like my Jeep. The wheels are a lot cooler, and Ivan can comment on that when he's done foaming it down. Ivan with foam is like a fish out of water, but he's come to love foam. I think he's come to enjoy the fun of it. If you're a pro, Ivan will always say, use rinseless wash. It's faster, it uses less water. If you're out here trying to have fun, which that's, I think, the idea of detailing, in my opinion, you definitely want to get foam into your life. We're getting some comments on the pole. Nico's saying sliding pole way better than long fixed pole. Rachel4965 is saying, which is sudsier, Type 1 or Type 2? I think they're both sudsy. Ivan, do you want to comment on that?
Yeah, and actually this is Type 1, Nick. It's not Type 2. So just that's what we had in the shop here. We actually don't have Type 2 in the shop. We ran out of Type 2. We still had a couple bottles of Type 1. So.
Yeah, that is the Quiver gun, and I believe the Quiver foam cannon. Okay, I'm louder than the foam cannon. AMI Detail says I'm louder than the foam cannon, but nice background noise. Cool. It's almost like we planned it that way. And Chris Flux says I can hear the foam cannon for a change. Sometimes when I Sometimes when I edit, I'll put some music up over the... Do you guys want the music on? Do you just want the ambiance of the sound? I can never tell. I'm just trying to not bore anybody, right? I actually, well, I could ramble on all day here. But I've never painted a room before, Ivan, and I painted a room in the place I'm moving into, and I was watching a lot of YouTube videos, and there were these 20-minute videos, and they were so frustrating. I just wanted a 5-minute video on how to do this right step by step. So I'm always trying to think of the beginner at home who's just watching us for the first time and detailing. How do I meet your needs and not drag it on and give you what you need when you're looking for answers and you don't want to spend all night painting your room or detailing your car? Okay, Ivan, what have you done? Talk to us here.
Well, we've washed we foamed the vehicle. Now we need to rinse it off because we're doing a foam rinse foam, and there is a fair bit of bugs on the front end of this thing. It was driven to Iowa a couple days ago and back. So that being said, the next question I have for you, am I using the Incredible Wash Mitt? Am I using the sponge, or am I using the brush to wash the Jeep?
Are we doing a hybrid, or are we going to go incredible? Oh, hold on, Ivan. Are we doing Incredible Suds, or are we going to go hybrid?
Well, we're doing Incredible Suds. They said Incredible Suds, so stick with the Incredible Suds.
Okay, Flint has a great question. What's the best option to wash road salt off?
Road salt, great question. So first of all, wash it off with either rinseless wash or Incredible Suds, your choice. And then from there, add a bit of water spot remover to the surface. That's what it's designed to do, is to remove minerals from the surface. So a bit of water spot remover is going to help. Now, let me rinse this off. Nick will mute me here so you guys don't have to hear this, and we'll move from there.
I'm not muting you yet. I want to hear in the comments. Do I need to mute him on the pressure washer, or is there some combination of microphones and software that's somehow allowing this to sound halfway decent live over the internet using very beginner-friendly technology? If so, we've come a long way, folks. So I believe we had a sound engineer here. Was that Shine Your Light Detailing? Let us know, Shine Your Light. How's the sound? Do we need to mute Ivan with the pressure washer here, or do we just let it ride and do it live? Okay, everyone likes the sound. So for whatever reason, StreamYard is kind of keeping you low enough and me loud enough. Maybe it's just sure microphone here trying to deepen my voice as a radio announcer would. I do want to say that Perfectly Safe brush is out now. It comes with a handle. You can do it as a bundle, or you can buy them separately. We're getting some questions in here. If I haven't answered your question, I'm known to miss things. You can go ahead and ask it again in the chat. Once we're done with the pressure washer and the foam cannon, Ivan will get to helping us with our live Q&A. But Paul Woodcock says, with regards to road salts, water spot remover after contact wash, or can it be added to the bucket? No, you don't want to add it to the bucket, Paul. So wash, foam rinse foam, chemical rinse chemical, contact wash, and you want to rinse off the paint. And then you would typically do an iron remover with our decon towel, then rinse the paint one more time, then use your water spot remover. That's going to really break down whatever's left from those road salts as it relates to minerals. Agitate it in with the rinseless wash dampened towel, and then rinse again. It sounds like a lot of steps. It's really not, and it's just the most thorough way if you're wanting the road salt and the minerals gone. If you're just wanting a nice wash, you don't need to use water spot remover or iron remover at every wash. Good to see Sylvie using the squeegee over there, and I can tell you, Ivan, you stopped by the place. We got a squeegee for the new garage, and the handle is just covered in paint. Would it be a surprise to you that I used too much paint and it was dripping everywhere as I painted the room?
That would not be a surprise in any way, shape, or form. And why would you use your brand new handle to use on a paint roller? Come on, you could have used an old.
Because I didn't use the Perfectly Safe brush one, Ivan. I left that one sank, and the brand new squeegee handle got painted to. Well, it got painted. Okay. Frank says the sound is great. I live stream 3 times a week for my church using vMix software and PTZ cameras. Don't know what either of those are, but probably should. vMix sounds like something. Hey, what pressure washer is Ivan using? It's a Kranzla. Ivan, do you know the Kranzla name?
It's a Kranzla. That's all I know. It's the little one. I don't know what model number it is. Let me see if I can read on it. No, the way it's set up here.
It's the wall-mounted one. It's not the roller one. All right, there you go. Thank you, Sylvie. Drake Thibodeau says, what pressure washer tip is better, safer for rinsing?
I like a 25 myself. Some people like a 40, some people like a 15. It really doesn't make a difference. The only time where you really need to be careful with a pressure washer tip is on a soft top. So this has the Freedom top on it from Best Top. So this one you need to be careful with the pressure washer, but the rest, not a problem. So let me foam this up again. I added a bit more water. I didn't add more soap because the soap was thick enough as it was. And let me get it soaked up again, then we'll be ready for the wash.
We're going to let Ivan foam away while I answer the Manchur's question. Joining from Omaha, Nebraska. So Ivan's in Omaha. You just see that Omaha behind me. I'm in my closet here with the green screen in Utah. So that is not my Wrangler. That is not my Wrangler. Maybe Ivan knows who it is. Sylvie doing this squeegee.
His name is Scott.
Scott, friend of the channel. There we go.
Yep.
Scott has my Wrangler except for cooler wheels, Ivan. Do you have any comment on that?
Yeah. Next time you're in Omaha, if Scott is around, we'll let you wash these wheels after you've washed yours and tell me which are cooler.
That's not about ease of clean. It's about how cool it looks, Ivan. Come on, this is the world we live in. Rachel4965 wants a product that smells like mangoes. Frank's asking, what do we stream with now? This is StreamYard, and it works very well. It's very beginner simple. Matthew, while Ivan is foaming, this is the second step. He's foamed. That removes all of, or at least most of the grit. Then he rinses it away, right? Because you emulsify it first, then it rinses away cleanly. We're doing this very safely. Then we add more incredible suds. This is going to really help with our contact wash, so the traffic film is going to come off with agitation. Don't underestimate the agitation step for really good cleaning. But the question from Matthew is, I want to buy my first polisher. I'm thinking a DA 5-inch pads. Everywhere I'm reading suggests a 15 millimeter. How should I think about going up to the sizes DIY offers, Ivan?
Excellent question. So 15 millimeter is the most common in the industry, but we don't have a 15 millimeter for a reason. It's not as effective, it's not as quick, and you're not going to get as good a finish. So the 25 is the easier way to go. People that are afraid of the 25 millimeter stroke, thinking it's going to be carrying them around the car and all that, don't worry about it. It is a simple, easy to use. If you watch our videos, most of the time you actually see me using it one-handed. It's that simple to use. We have a video that we posted a couple days ago where Eddie from EC Details came over and at SEMA and challenged me to a duel between him with the rotary, me with the 25 millimeter polisher. I'm wearing a suit. I used it one-handed, and it actually cut better than the rotary. DA, long stroke DA, 25 millimeter, always cuts better than a rotary when you're using the appropriate technology. Now, what wash media am I going to be using here? Is it the Perfectly Safe brush? Is it the Incredible Wash Mitt? Or the Legacy sponge?
Ivan, you're hyped today. I love it. We're going to use the Perfectly Safe brush. We got a few. Someone said use a detailing brush to clean the whole thing, and they're kind of trolling, or maybe they're not. We got some mitts, Incredible Wash Mitt. We had a couple of Legacy sponges. I'm just going to make the call. Listen, the Perfectly Safe brush is back in stock. The people want to see the PSB in action, Ivan. Question from I feel like Pablo. Hang the brush upside down or bristles to the sky when you dry it?
It really doesn't make a difference whether you put it this way or this way, as long as it's not touching the ground and it's not up against anything. Because when it's wet, so this one's nice and dry, but when it's wet, what happens is it can take a kink. And Nick will be releasing a video soon where we went over his garage and helped him set it up. He had just thrown the brush in a bucket, and the bristles are all wonky. So next time he washes the vehicle...
I stored something improperly in a giant pile and something got messed up?
Probably, yes. But with that, next time he uses it to wash, now he's got a place to hang it up. So it's going to be nice and safe for him. But at the same time, the bristles will come back. But you just want to keep the bristles nice and even. And, this brush has washed a lot of vehicles so far. It's been in a lot of videos too. And it's still hanging up, still doing a great thing. So let's
Rachel
start
asked,
washing
when you use
paint.
the IK Foam Pro 2, we know what you're doing, Ivan. When you use the IK Foam Pro 2, what tip do you use?
Oh, the one that it came with. I've never changed a tip in one of them.
Neither have I. Okay. Ryan L says, have I done a detail in the garage yet, Nick? No, I did a little TikTok live the other day with Taylor Ingle from C6. and that was about it. And I washed my hood, and then I sent the vehicle with only a washed hood back into the wild because I'm a crazy man like that. You know, Ivan, when you have white paint, you can get away with shenanigans like that. Did you know that?
No, you can't get away with it, Nick. That's the problem. You shouldn't be trying to get away with anything.
But it's a white vehicle. I'm in the middle of a move. We got videos to edit. I'm raising a couple kids. When the rest of the vehicle's kind of white and the hood is white, nobody cares. Nobody cares. I'm the only one who cares. I care, Ivan, okay? But sometimes detailing is not your number one priority. You love detailing, but then, then it's always there for you when you need it. Give me your wash strategy here as you go ahead and hit the front grill.
Well, I'm just getting the front here, and then I'll move around to the side, and we'll have the camera follow me. Normally, I would leave the front till last, but since the camera is set up here, that's why I'm doing the front first.
Alfred Auto Spa is recommending the 25 millimeter from us over the 15. Thank you, Alfred. That makes a lot of sense to me. I want to make sure I'm getting all these comments. T. Perez says, how long does your 8 and 3-year coatings last in the bottle once opened, Ivan?
Safely 90 days, but they can be extended to 6 months. That is,
Mike
do not
Kaufman?
store.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, go. Oh, go ahead.
No, talk about the storage there. That's a good...
Yeah. So basically, 90 days is perfectly safe, up to 6 months. But at that point, you're going to start losing longevity on the durability of the coating.
Got it. The perfectly safe brush, Mike Kaufman asks, is it going to be offered on the C6 site?
Yes, it should be there already.
Paul Woodcock's like, man, you polished that hood with Eddie one-handed with a jacket on. All right, we're getting a lot of comments about how to store the brush, which tells you I'm a little bit behind. Shine Your Light tried the 25 millimeter at Sock's house, so he really liked it. All right, there's a couple of things about the garage. All right, Dixie Overland says, what type of pad is appropriate to use when you're trying to remove a scratch from a ceramic-coated car? That's a great question, Ivan.
Well, if you're removing a scratch from a ceramic-coated car, you're going to have to recoat it. That's just the way it is. Sylvie and I actually just finished a car a few minutes ago. Nick, you'll remember the red 63 Corvette we did.
Yeah.
Yeah, that had C6 Diamond on it. Well, now it has a soon-to-be-released coating on it. We'll tease you with that. But at the same time, the mechanic shop that it went to, and it was there for at least 3 or 4 months, let's just say it was very contaminated, and the mechanics did not use a fender guard when they were working on the engine. So both fenders were very, very scratched up. So we had to polish it. We used the gold pad in some cases. Sylvie used the wool pad. And then we finished with app and then went to the coating. So,
Felix, I want to ask you more about that, Ivan, but let's think of it as a Q&A rapid fire. Felix says,
yeah.
Is Rinseless V3 coming out soon?
No. V2 is great. We're not changing products just for the fun of changing products. We're not into saying, oh, V2 has been out for a year, now we have to change it. No, V2 is still doing great. Don't worry, buy a gallon of V2. It's going to last you a year, and maybe by that time we'll be at V3. There's or Type 3, there's other there are other products that require or that are closer to being changed. So we'll leave it at that.
Michael Ott from the Bays and Mesa says our sound is good. He can't wait to get his brushes in. Ivan, you were just there, right?
Yep. Great spot. If you're anywhere near Phoenix, Mesa, in Arizona, go visit Michael at the Bays. It's a great spot, super well laid out. Probably my favorite of the Bays in terms of layout. Michael's done a great job with his wife, Tiffany. It's a family business, and they're doing a great thing for the industry. So when it's too hot, like the days, well, for you guys it would be too hot, for me it would be just comfortable. But when it's like 115 or 120 outside, they're air conditioned. So in the summer, it'll be great. In the winter too. But there in the summer, I think you'll have a little more people wanting to get indoors.
Ivan, you don't have a screen in front of you, so you're answering like a human and not a Q&A robot. But remember, just imagine 100 unanswered questions on the screen that we haven't answered yet. We got to split the switch into fast action here. Okay, quick question though from Cheryl. She says, "Does the brush cause micro marring?"
No, the brush is actually the least evasive or least invasive wash media we have. It's safer than the microfiber. Some people have commented that after using the brush, they had to go back over with something else because it's not aggressive enough. It is the perfect maintenance wash media.
Perfectly safe brush, back in stock on DIYdetail.com, including that handle Ivan's using. Question for you, Ivan. Lucas Demers asked, would it be better to apply app, adhesion promoter polish, with my long throw DA or by hand? I don't have a palm sander.
It would be best for you to go out and buy a palm sander. By hand is going to be way too arduous and long, and the long stroke DA, not a good idea. So you can pick one up at Harbor Freight for $20. It's worth the investment.
DRK was making, I think, an inside joke about eggshells, which had something to do with how I left eggshells in the carton during the SEMA trip in the house. We don't need to talk about that. We'll pretend it never happened. Drake said, will Ivan use the perfectly safe brush on wheels? Same dirt, right?
Same dirt. Yes, I could use it on a wheel if I wanted to. But like I mentioned, it's not aggressive enough. So that's where the green brush comes in. And those of you that have our green wheel and body brush think that it's so soft. Well, until you felt this brush, this is a lot softer. So I washed the whole body. Yes, I'm going to do the wheels. I just have this one running board to do here.
So you save the running board till last, the lowers?
I didn't need to. It's just I skipped this when I was going by. So,
got it. Ivan doesn't miss things, and if he does, he knows he missed it, and he'll be back for it. Troy, wait, you're a human. I'm sure you've missed something in your life. Troy Wasakesi says, hi, I have the brush, so I'm assuming the handle just screws in, LOL?
Yeah. So it's a standard Acme thread, like that. It just screws right back in.
At DIYdetail.com. Hey, it's a good question from Angry Monkey Detailing. Foam is more fun. Rinseless wash is ideal for mobile. So much less equipment, no big DI, water tank, etc. Ivan, why do you think so many mobile detailers still use soap? Or is that, or my add to that is, do you think that's just what we're seeing on the internet?
That is a great way of looking at it, Nick. Yes, it is what we're seeing on the internet. Also, just out of habit, a lot of people haven't tried rinseless wash. They're afraid of it. And if you're afraid of rinseless wash, don't be afraid of it. Sylvie's just using the squeegee. She'll be back with the camera in a second here.
Well, hold on. Maybe we should wait for her. Maybe we should wait for her. We want to see what you're doing. We can answer a question here.
I'm just cleaning the wheel, so.
I know.
Something you've seen me do 1,000 times before.
Well, we might run out of things for you to do, and then it's just a Q&A, which is fine, but it's kind of fun to see you working. How long is the extension pole fully extended? Asked JL.
17.5 inches collapsed, 48 inches extended, and anywhere in between.
A question that you may have answered earlier, but Rachel4965, what is the shelf life of coatings from batch date? So let's talk about you've never opened the bottle.
So we say a year, but in reality, it's much longer than that. As long as the bottle isn't opened, it can actually, withstand 2 or 3 years. Look how nasty.
The Mantra wants to know a story about how Ivan and Sylvie first met.
Through actually a dating thing. So before dating apps, it was actually a supper event. So you signed up to this and you went to a supper. You had 6 people sitting at a table. So it wasn't speed dating, it was before that. And you just conversed with 6 people sitting around a table. If anyone caught your fancy, then you continued the conversation.
And we'll leave it at that, or what?
Yeah.
For now. We can have another podcast on this later. Well, what a wonderful thing. V Cameron says, do I have to polish after using a clay mitt? Like just simply wash the car, then iron remover, then clay mitt, then spray wax or polish?
So it depends on the clay mitt that you're using. Do a test spot. Check it out. What are you using as lubrication? Our perforated synthetic decontamination quad fold towel, breath. You generally will not need to polish afterwards if you're using proper lubrication. but things do happen. It could be a repainted panel, etc., or you just haven't been watching your videos and don't have the right technique. And speaking of watching your videos and having the right technique, just a reminder to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and on your way out today, don't forget to leave a like behind. And if we don't get to any of your questions, please feel free to put them in the comments below. So not in the chat, but actually in the comments, and we will get to them.
160 people watching live on this Friday, November 14th, 2:30 Mountain Time, 4:30 Eastern. Appreciate each and every one of you as we celebrate the restock of the Perfectly Safe brush and our extension pole. You can get them both as a discounted bundle. You can buy them separately. I guarantee you that brush will be a time saver for you. I use it to wash my Jeep, which looks almost exactly like that JK Sahara that Ivan's washing, and it just saves time. People are loving the brush. It's now in stock at DIYDetail.com. Now, Greg says, can you use the PSB, speaking of the Perfect Safe brush, with rinseless wash?
Yes, definitely. You can use it with rinseless. You can use it with incredible suds. You can use it with whatever wash solution you're using.
Ryan L. Good to see you, sir, after a nice week at SEMA. Says, can you use the Perfectly Safe brush with water spot remover?
No. So nothing acidic. I know that there's a channel I watch. I think it's Sunday night. I watch it on the House of Rags. There's this guy that does detailing. Nick at Night, I think, is the channel. But anyways, he's used this brush with acid, and I really don't recommend that. But nonetheless, his brush is holding up. But no, it's not a great way to treat your brush.
Well, it's worth noting we had a great discussion about acid, and I kind of want to make this a podcast, but that if you're going to use something like Ragnarok wheel acid, which I sometimes do, around emblems or on wheels, you don't just want to rinse it off, Ivan. You kind of blew my mind when you explained how acid works. So for the renegades out there, I know it's not a DIY detail product, but you brought it up.
Yeah.
Do you want to explain kind of how to safely remove or neutralize acid if you're going to use it?
Yeah, just rinsing it is not enough. You actually need to neutralize it with another solution. So incredible suds, rinseless wash. You need to agitate it. You need to do that. Or else you risk damaging the vehicle.
Next time I use acid, we should have one of those where you watch me wash the car and then offer your analysis. People really like that, so I'll be a good sport about it. You can roast me. Yep. It's fine. A bunch of adventures asked, hey guys, wife has a 2023 BMW X5 that is some kind of dealer-installed coating. Long story short, I want to remove and replace with DIY. I have the cordless DA on the way, yellow pad, microfiber. He's like wondering, what does he use?
So yellow pad and the gold standard polish, 3 passes, or if needed, if you don't like the look of the paint. But if you're happy with the condition of the paint, 3 passes, so left, right, up, down, left, right. Wipe it off, do the app, apply the coating. Don't overthink it. No chemicals are going to remove a coating.
So just a braiding of the coating is all you need, and then recoat. Love it, and then use the proper steps basically. Yeah. Still want to use a panel prepper app and then ceramic coat after you've polished. But yeah, minimum of the yellow waffle just to abrade that coating, Ivan. And then Ken Davis says, just bought 2 wash brushes. Wonder when they will be improved. I don't know if he's I don't know if that's sarcasm, like, oh, you guys are always improving things, or you're always coming up with. I don't know. What do you make of that? Wonder if they'll be improved. Comment.
Everything is up for improvement with us. So yes, at some point it will get improved, but it's not slated for right now. We'll put it that way. And I just saw something here. Let me get my bucket back.
Question from Josh Hayes. Nick, what would you use for dirty stained carpets? If I just spill a bit of something on like a light colored fabric, I'll hit it with like interior clean and protect, and I'll just rub it in with a microfiber towel. Oh, the fender lip, Ivan. I see what you're doing there. Do not miss that. That is a easy spot to miss on white vehicles, and I think it's an eyesore if you miss it.
Yep.
And this grill, I'll move up from there to kind of. Oh, what's that?
Oh, this grill is etched just like yours is, so we won't be able to get everything off of it, but the etching is real here.
Yeah, and then I may move up to a janitorial product like encapsulation product. There's a few of them that I've used in the past, Josh. I actually just played around with a clean tool product, which I got through the House of Rags. I think it's Fabric Clean, and that works pretty good. But I haven't tested it enough to be like, yes, I would use this on every. So I use an encapsulation carpet cleaning product as my next step. And then if you have to extract, I like BioBreak from Bridgepoint, but you need to extract after that with a neutralizing rinse. All right, Santiago Bonuela, and don't forget with carpet cleaning or detailing, chat. I know Ivan wants to talk about watch, but we'll talk about chat here. 4 letters, one kind of acronym. Chemical heat agitation time. So you've got your chemical. If you can use hot water to dilute it, that could be helpful. If you have steam or something, that can be helpful, but that's extra water or moisture. Agitation and then dwell time. So if you don't have a heat and you have this one chemical, your 2 variables you can work with are dwell time of the chemical and how much agitation you're using. So agitation and dwell time are big when it comes to dirty stained carpets as well. All right, moving on. Santiago says, I got a question. Would you prefer a PPF or a ceramic coating, or can you do both, Ivan?
Definitely both. PPF is a great option, but a lot of people over-apply or overuse PPF. With paint protection film, if your car, let's say you're trading in your car, you've owned the car for 3 or 4 years, you look at the front end and there's only 2 or 3 stone chips, you don't need PPF. Now, if it's covered in stone chips, you probably did need PPF. One thing that a lot of people don't realize about PPF is it has a shelf life, meaning that when it's on your car, about 5 years later, you need to remove it, or else it might pull paint when you remove it. So PPF is not for the life of your vehicle. It's something that needs to be renewed every once in a while. People that cover the whole car in PPF, to me, that's a waste. The front end is great, but doing the whole car in PPF, unless you're doing a color change PPF or going to matte, that would be an option, but you don't need to do the whole car.
We mentioned adhesion promoter polish earlier and long throw versus by hand. Well, Tom says the Harbor Freight sander is $15 right now. So, Tom, you tell the people, just get yourself a nice, cheap sander. It'll do the job for adhesion promoter polish application. Will the long handle green brush ever come back? The question from Kelly Warren, Ivan.
No. So in the 2 years that we had it, or 3 years that we had it on the store, we sold a total of about 50 of them. So it's unfortunately was taking up space in the warehouse. That is at a premium, so it's not coming back.
C.I. Parsons says, I have your spray bottles and they've leaked. They seem to leak when in the sun. Is there a trick to prevent them from leaking? Drill a hole?
No, close the cap. So close the tip.
Close the tip of the sprayer.
Yeah.
All right. Good times. Good advice. Common sense. Happens to all of us. King Ranch says, I love rinseless wash. Larry Cummings says, what can I use in my car to replace windshield wiper fluid?
Windshield wiper fluid.
There's no better Ivan answer than that?
Yeah, no, you can use rinseless wash if you're in an area that doesn't freeze. But if you're in an area that freezes, just use windshield wiper fluid.
Ivan is foamed. He's rinsed. He's foamed Incredible Suds again. Then he's done the contact wash. Now he's doing the rinse. I gotta tell you, Ivan, I mean, we went to SEMA. We were surrounded by Yum Cars and Mile Deep and all the folks from South Korea, and it was like, we got the Katiba and Luminous. And the question I have for you, Ivan, is like, how complicated does it get over there with the different snow foams and the pH? Because all we give is one soap. I mean, are we oversimplifying it? Are they right? Are we wrong? Are we right? Are they wrong? Like, give me the lowdown on all the different snow foams and when to use each one.
No one's right, no one's wrong. They're just different ways of doing things. For myself, I see that as a waste of time more than anything else, and also a waste of product. You don't need 3 different soaps. It's the contact wash that's actually doing the job. Let me rinse the back end off here, and then I'll be back.
What I love about our system, what I love about DIY Detail is we just keep it simple. Rinseless wash is called rinseless wash. Incredible Suds is called Incredible Suds. It's a shampoo. You foam it on, you rinse it. You foam it on again, you do the contact wash. You rinse again. And we have a agitated vehicle. We have a clean vehicle. We've done this safely. When we want to get rid of our minerals, we do that in a separate step. But it seems like there's so many different soaps now. And the UK folks were explaining the pre-wash soap versus your bucket wash soap. And it was like, man, I was like, how does anyone keep this stuff straight? No offense to anybody
you know,
of them. I just really appreciate our simplicity. Is all I'm saying.
yeah, exactly. So, next step: are we doing quick beads or envy or both?
Ivan, I'm so far behind in the comments. If I go to check out what they say, I'm gonna miss all these comments. So I think you should just
Okay.
decide. I want to
Well,
ask you a question. Zondu says,
we
"Do you
got
have an
time, we'll do
opinion on
both.
acid for?" Oh, hold on. Zondu says, "Do you have an opinion on acid for maintenance wheel cleaning?"
Don't do it. Maintenance wheel cleaning, you don't need anything more than a soap or rinseless wash. You don't need to get that aggressive with it.
Design Media says, "When I use rinseless in the sun, by the time I get around the car, there are sicky, muddish spots left on the car. What to do?"
Just re-wet it with the rinseless and start drying.
Did you decide on quick beads, Ivan?
Well, we'll actually do both, Nick.
Perfect.
Scott's a good friend of the channel, so we'll make sure that his Jeep's nicely protected.
Cheryl says, "Which sprayer is good for rinseless wash?" I assume she means, what should I use to get the rinseless wash on the surface? Like to really distribute it along the vehicle?
Yeah, there's a lot of good options. I actually, the keg is a great option. I like the little Scott's sprayer that's actually designed for weeds called the Pump Zero, because that Pump Zero, it always keeps it at the right pressure. It's not loud, it's inexpensive, it does the job.
Scott Belkin commenting on why detailers use foam over rinseless. So that tells you how far behind I am in the comments, Ivan. I apologize. He thinks it's about the foam show, like putting on a good show for their customers, because rinseless wash just looks like water to people. I mean, it's an interesting theory for sure. Like, I think there's something to be said for putting on a show. With that said, Drake is back with another comment. What's the best way to clean all the dirt inside the wheels where the lug nuts are? Tight space.
With our green wheel and body brush, it actually does a great job. It gets in there. So you don't need to get another brush. But if you want to, one of those little detailing brushes does a good job at that.
Exodus FX says, "What are some uses for old coating that's past the recommended, quote, still good time after you've opened the bottle?"
You still can use it on paint. The only issue you'll have is it may shorten the lifespan of the coating. And if it shortens the lifespan of a coating, just know that and take that into consideration if you're selling it to a customer or if you're using it for your own vehicle.
Nito Koke says, "What towels in the DIY detail lineup would be good for the multi-mitt washing?" So I think he's talking about you never redunk your mitt in your bucket. So you have like 10 of them in your bucket and you're just doing a fresh side every time you touch the panel. Is it that kind of idea that you're getting from this question, Ivan?
Yeah, and that to me would be the Freebird 400. But honestly, that is not a great way of washing your car. Microfiber towels are not designed as wash media. They don't work as well. I know you think you're being safer, but in reality, you're not. Because that little microfiber that's too thin, it's not like our wash mitt that has a super long, nap to it. They're super short. If you pick up a little piece of grit, you're carrying it until you get rid of that towel. So please use the brush, use the Incredible Wash Mitt, or use the sponge, but don't use microfiber towels. But if you insist, the Freebird 400.
Okay, Freebird 400, which last time I checked was out of stock. What's not out of stock? A perfectly safe brush. Back in stock as of today. I believe we've already sold hundreds of them. It wouldn't surprise me.
What's out of stock?
There is a lot of pent-up demand.
What did you say that was out of stock?
Oh, is the Freebird 400 back in stock?
Oh yeah, the towels are unfortunately out of stock, so yes.
Okay, yeah. Freebird 400, you mentioned. I'm like, I think that's out of stock. Cheryl says, "Nick, how did you and Ivan meet?" We met in person. We met on the internet. But we met in person when he came to my shop in Heber, Utah in 2019 for a detail training. And look at you go, Ivan. You're still doing detail trainings.
Yep. And will, as long as
23
people are willing to have me.
Yep, 23 Do the Do says, "I'm going to use the perfectly safe brush to rinseless wash the vinyl siding on my house."
Yeah, like I mentioned before, it actually may not be aggressive enough for that. Like, as an example, on my bus, I won't use that brush because it's too soft.
You also have bedliner on your brush. King Ranch says, "Do you have a product like EXO or XO5 from G-Technique?"
We don't need a topper on our coatings, so no, we don't. But you could use, if you wanted to, Envy or quick beads in that capacity.
Rachel4965 says I need a perfectly safe quad-fold perforated decontamination towel. So essentially a decon towel on a pole is what she's referring to.
Right. Unfortunately, not a good idea. You can't control the pressure you're using with the pole. You may think you're not using a lot of pressure, but you can be using a lot of pressure. You're better off in that case, getting a step ladder like I've got in my hands now and using that to reach the roof of the vehicle.
Hey, I know you're rinsing off all the quick beads, making sure that it's all completely gone. It's froth-free. We have nice water beads on the paint. Scott made a good point. He said, can Ivan demonstrate the rinseless wash technique with the perfectly safe brush, please? And as we celebrate its coming back in stock today, I think it's a reasonable request.
It's a reasonable request, but at the same time, it's exactly the same technique that I did with the suds. There's no difference. Do a panel, dunk it in your wash bucket. That's it. There's nothing complicated. There's nothing weird. There's nothing special about it. Whether you're using Incredible Suds or rinseless wash, the techniques are the same.
Design Media says, I put my water spot rag back in my bucket with the clay towel and sponge for about an hour. Am I okay?
Your clay towel may get really gummy feeling, and if that's the case, then you might need a new clay towel.
So you might want to check next time you do a clay or a decon with your decon towel. Put a light on there and see if you see a little soft, round, not soft, like little round marks really tightly together, like the weave of the towel. That's what marring would look like. So just be aware that it could mar, and I would just look at it under a light next time you use it and say, is this marring? Do I need a new one? Because you get so used to it working perfectly, Ivan, and it never mars, that it's almost tough to know if something's happened, and then it does start marring. That's the tricky thing for me is like, I think I got a little acid contamination on my towel as well. That's how we started talking about using acid and needing to rinse it off and then actually wash it off before you use your decon towel. So for folks out there who are just wondering, put a light on the paint after you do a panel and just see if it mars, and you may need a new towel. So not to make you over worry, guys. Like, don't worry about it. But if you do mix products like acid and your decon towel, that's when you can run into some issues. Okay, Hero Projects number 1 says, hoping all is well. I had a question about white leather. I did the wool pad interior clean and protect method, but still had minor staining. Is there a deeper but still safe cleaning method?
On white leather, it's quite difficult. Yes, there are more aggressive methods, basically using a more aggressive chemical.
And the tough thing is, when you get more aggressive, you may get a result, and then you remove most of the coating on that leather, and then you're setting yourself up for it just going totally brown or rubbing all the way through, right? Like, I've done that before too. So it's a tightrope at that point, Ivan.
Right, you're setting yourself up for future failure. As an example, I saw a comment today on one of the groups that someone got a bird dropping on the vehicle. They washed it off within 2 days, but they were still staining. So they started using chemicals and compounding and polishing. Patience is your friend here, people. If you do get staining from bird droppings, etc., just let it sit in the sun for a day or two. You'll be amazed at the difference it makes.
Patience is a tough thing, Ivan. We all struggle with it, from kids to adults. I know that from raising kids and being a human myself, and patience is a tough thing. So it's good to hear you say that. Question from EJB. He's like, or she's like, what if you think you applied too little coating? Can you add more later?
You can, but with our coatings, it's very difficult to apply too little. It's possible to apply too much, but too little is not a thing. And speaking of too little or too much, people are concerned about the cost of Envy. And I always say check cost per use. Most products will tell you to use 2 or 3 sprays per panel. With us, it's 1 spray per panel. That's all we need.
As always,
Nothing
less
more.
is more. I hate to say it's such a cliche thing that Ivan has said a million times, but I've really never regretted using 1 spray of Envy or ceramic gloss, which RIP is no longer on our line. But, people think maybe 2 sprays is going to give them a little bit better protection, Ivan.
No. 1 spray is all you need. You notice I sprayed it on the wet vehicle. I went around the whole vehicle because I'm in the garage here. And it's actually quite humid in the garage, so it's not drying that quickly. And, I used maybe 12 sprays, so that's 12 or 13 milliliters of product. It's not a lot. And we already have the quick beads on the surface. The reason I'm adding Envy, it just helps the towel to grab even more water. And speaking of the towel,
Real quick, Alfred Auto Spa is saying, would you clay the fender lip? I tried to, but wonder if I'm overthinking it. I certainly do. I mean, I think it does a great job. Using no pressure.
Right. This fender lip, it looks dirty, but in reality, it is actually worn. Like that's not dirt. That is chips in the paint. So.
Got it. And Peter Gomez asking about Envy. How long does Envy ceramic sealant last, and does it stack with quick beads?
Well, we have quick beads on the surface, so the answer is yes to the stacking. And the other aspect of it, the durability, depends on how you're maintaining the vehicle, how you're driving it. What are the next operations on this vehicle? Are you washing it every week, or are you putting it on and expecting it to last 6 months without retouching the vehicle?
Okay, great answer. Out Ghost Rider says, I have a question. My clients always come to me with bad water spots on the windows, and when I do my detail, it doesn't come off, and they're not happy. What do I do?
Use water spot remover and then polish.
Yep. You don't want to just polish without using water spot remover, though, because you could drive the minerals into the glass. Is that what you're saying?
You're not going to drive them into the glass, but use the water spot remover first, because it
just
will
because
help
that might actually remove some of them.
Yeah, it's going to remove them, and at the same time, less risks on your part.
Question from Billy Rains. Are y'all working on a new small polisher? DIY style?
No. So a lot of people in this industry use a 5-inch pad. And when you're using a 5-inch pad, you find yourself needing a smaller polisher to get into areas. With a 6-inch pad, you actually get into more areas than you do with a 5-inch. So we've done a lot of vehicles on this channel. You've never seen us use a 3-inch pad and or a 3-inch polisher, and we can get in just about everywhere. And if you can't get in to polish it, there's a good chance no one was able to get in there to scratch it.
Mad Meave 2019. Does Yvan ceramic coat the bus? How many bottles does it take? How long?
I actually did ceramic coat the bus about 5 years ago, and it took 2 bottles, so not much. And it took Sylvie and I, 3 hours maybe at most.
Loic says, I know you were busy with SEMA. Do you have upcoming videos on the LaCroix Cruiser YouTube channel?
Yeah, we'll be continuing the series with the pickup truck on the channel. And we have a couple of bus-related videos as well, but yes. So those that don't know, we have a LaCroix Cruiser YouTube channel. And on there, we're currently renovating a 1996 Ford F-150. I rather fix than finance, so that's what we're doing there. And it's my favorite.
Mike Kaufman says on the site, one of the photos has a long handle tire shine brush. Is that going to be for sale?
It might still be for sale if we still have some, but no, it won't be for sale.
So Out Ghost Rider makes
used
this
to have
point.
them.
Like, what do I do about my clients' water spots on their windows? He asked this question earlier, and they don't want to do anything but an exterior wash. So essentially, they're paying for an exterior wash, but then they're like, why are there still water spots on my windows?
Well, then they pay extra. It's not your fault as the detailer that they let water spots happen on their car. It's like when you go to the restaurant, you've eaten your meal, you've paid for your meal, but you say to the waiter, I'm still hungry. Are they going to give you free food? No.
Such a good point. But at the same time, as a detailer, I know what it's like to want to give everything away and please your customer and all the things. And that's what being a business owner is about. All right, Andrew Zanthus says, I seem to remember a video where you used the adhesion promoter polish on a ceramic-coated car with the RJP. I'm trying to know what the RJP is. How many passes would be sufficient? Rotary jeweling pad? Okay, I got it.
Yeah, red jeweling pad and 1 or 2 passes. So you're just using it to clean up the coating if it's very heavily clogged, but after you do the full decontamination.
Decent Asparagus 95 says, is there any specific products we should be treating our door jambs or cracks with for winter protection?
So the door jambs themselves, just use some Envy or quick beads in there. The seals themselves, dielectric grease actually. So back in the 80s, when some of us had Camaros with T-tops, GM used to sell a T-top seal rejuvenator, which was actually just dielectric grease. And it worked exceptionally well.
Nikolay Marinov says, would keeping a mix of all clean and incredible suds in an IK foamer for the next wash damage it in the long term? I think maybe damage the foamer or the product, or I'm not sure what the question is.
No, it's going to be fine. Just don't leave it under pressure. An IK foamer, you never leave under pressure.
All right, I've never heard of this product, but maybe you have, Ivan. The Fantic NB8 Nano Portable Cordless Electric Sprayer with 2.1 gallon tank is working great for Frank on rinseless wash spraying.
Yeah, that's one that Keeve recommended at some point. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Keeve always has something he's recommending, and Ivan usually tries them, and I try them sometimes. If they make them through Keeve and then Ivan buys them, then I'm usually a fan. It's the double filter, Ivan.
Yeah.
Okay, question from Kit Katsky. Is the technique for using the legacy sponge with soap different than rinseless wash when you're using the legacy sponge with rinseless wash?
Exactly the same.
See, I like getting my legacy sponge really sudsy in soap if I'm going to use the legacy sponge.
Yeah, but how you use it is the same. But yes, you should leave it a little more sudsy. Same thing when you're using the wash mitt in rinseless as opposed to suds. You want to leave it a little wet as well.
Yeah. It's okay to have your wash media sopping wet when it comes to Incredible Suds. But as Ivan said, when you put that legacy sponge, if you're using it with Incredible Suds on the surface, you're not using more pressure, right? You're just letting the sponge and the soap do the work for you.
Exactly.
Okay, Flash Gamer 99 says, is there any difference in technique that you recommend when washing without a DI water system?
We don't have a DI water system here, and our TDS is a little tad over 500, and I've never had a DI water system. So the technique is dry it before the environment dries it. That's all you need to prevent water spots. It's that simple. People overthink getting water spots on their vehicle.
People overthink a lot of things, and I'm one of the overthinkers. That's how I know that people do that. Long John says, will the Perfectly Safe brush be DIY detail site only exclusive?
No. I know Carzilla has it. TOC has it in Canada. In the US, Thor should have it, as well as Detailed Image. I don't know about the other distributors. Probably Clean Garage and AutoForge should have it if they don't have it already.
Long John says, will the Perfectly Safe brush be... Oh, sorry, he just has that. Mr. Pinger said, the second I got the email about the PSB, I ordered it. Thank you, Mr. Pinger, for ordering the Perfectly Safe brush. All right, question from Ryan L. on the Gold Standard compound. During SEMA, the new Gold Standard compound was used with the wool pads. Thoughts on using Gold Standard compound with our yellow foam pad?
You can do it. Not a problem there. What's going to happen is you're just increasing the cut of the yellow pad or decreasing the cut of the compound. Your choice.
And we know the detailers like to, pick and choose and then tell the world what they've discovered. So just, have an adventure, everybody. Dan says, do you have to rinse if you use the Perfectly Safe brush with rinseless?
No. It is a rinseless
Same principles.
So you go straight to drying.
You don't need to rinse
But
after
for
the
brush.
contact wash.
Yeah. Now, let me reiterate this. The brush for rinseless washing is great if you're doing a maintenance. If the car is very dirty, you're much better off with a sponge because the brush actually isn't aggressive enough to clean the surface. It has to be a relatively clean surface to work with the brush.
Even if you've done the foam rinse foam method?
Even if you've done the foam rinse foam method, if it hasn't been washed in 6 months, then there's a good chance that you'll need to maybe wash it a second time. So that's where something like the mitt, the Incredible Wash Mitt, or the sponge actually do a better job there. It's not aggressive enough. And speaking of which, Nick, take the screen over to you for a minute. Sylvie and I are going to reposition the camera. We'll go into the office and we'll meet you back.
Okay.
But,
so I'm going to take over. Oh, wait.
Well, before you do that, Sylvie mentioned,
hold on.
If you remember, the windshield of this was covered in bugs. Now it's nice and clean. The way it should be.
I have to believe you, Ivan, because I don't remember it being covered in bugs, but it looks shiny.
Okay. Yeah, it's shiny, it's clean. So Nick, take it over for a second, and
All
we'll
right,
be
let me
right back.
hold on. Let me try. Okay, there we are. Ivan's coming back. Don't worry. I'll sit up straight. Try to make my kindergarten teacher proud, if that's a thing. Question from Peter Gomez: what enzyme cleaner do we recommend for throw up? Ivan can chime in on this. I always liked getting everything out dry that I could. If you have to scrape it or whatever before you do anything, and then I'd apply BioBreak mixed hot. I just like mixing it hot. So I want it fresh with hot water, right? That's that heat. And then I want to spray it on there, give it lots of dwell time, agitate incredibly thoroughly, and then I'm going to rinse with my extractor and a product called Flex Ice. So these are janitorial products that I used. I know there's a lot of really great ones, but I did throw up, clean up plenty of times. I'm sure there's a lot of ways to do it, but I'm trying to remove all that before I even have to put it in my extractor. I'm trying to get it all dry if I can, removed, and then whatever I can, I'm activating with a hot solution. All right, Mr. Pinger says rinsing can't hurt unless your ppm is high. Yeah, but that's why I love rinseless wash, even if you have hard water. I'm waiting for Ivan to get back, and I'll just continue to handle this. Exodus FX. Don't sleep on the 20% off the detailing kits on the DIY website right now. They're awesome for Christmas gifts. They absolutely are awesome for Christmas gifts. And you know what else is great for a Christmas gift? The Perfectly Safe brush. Back in stock at DIYdetail.com. What a great day. What a great day. Ivan, I see you there. I see you there, but
Yep,
we're
we're
going to
good.
give you a second. You're good?
Good to go,
All right,
Nick?
let's bring him back.
Yep.
Hold on. Let me get you in here. There's Ivan. There he is. All right.
Change my
We're getting straight into the Q&A now. Oh, go ahead.
Yep. Okay, that's better.
Do you want me to take this out and my AirPod out and put my headphones in? Do I need to hear you anymore or no?
It's up to you, Nick, but I need to hear you, so you need to keep the AirPod in.
Oh,
can't
okay,
see
got it.
I don't have a
I
screen.
forgot.
Yeah.
I kind of forgot how we were doing this. We're doing it live, folks. We're doing it live. Larry Cummings says, when I use iron remover during decontamination, do I have to rinse the quad fold decon towel in rinseless wash, or can I use Incredible Suds?
You can use your choice. Both of them work.
Ryan L says, what cuts more, the gold standard compound on the gold standard foam pad, so our yellow waffle foam, or the gold standard polish on the wool pad?
About 50-50 there. That's a pretty similar combo. So someone who, like we've mentioned this before, the compound is not for everyone. It's not necessary for everyone. It's not needed for everyone. If you're satisfied with the cut of the wool pad with gold standard polish, which most of you should be, then you don't need to step up to the compound.
I'm trying to give myself a little more headroom to match you, Ivan. You've got quite a bit of headroom there. I'm just trying to give the people something congruent to look at. We've got
Sylvie's adjusting, so
okay, there you go. Now you're a little higher than I am, but I think that's good. That's good. We're gonna ask one more question, then I may adjust as you talk.
Yeah.
Shine Your Light Detailing is gonna do his first ever YouTube live after SOC, so tune in, everybody. There you go. All right. So 23. Do says, that was me with the bird crap, and I can tell you the car sat in the sun all day for the past 4 days, and it hasn't done anything, LOL. I wish the sun was all I needed. In that case, you may be a candidate for polishing, compounding, or wet sanding. I mean, if something etches, Ivan, what do you tell people? Because all bird droppings are not created equal, and if they etch, right?
Right, and also, if I remember correctly, you use some chemicals on it, which set the etching or set the stain. Again, use patience before using any chemicals. Yeah.
Okay. Sometimes it's tough because you have the job in the shop that day and you don't have 4 days to give it, right?
You tell the customer to wait. That's it. It's as simple as that. Basically, as a professional detailer, you have two options. You say to the customer, either I'm going to damage your paint by removing some of it, or we let it sit for a week and you come back if necessary. And many times the customer didn't come back to us because it wasn't necessary.
B. Cameron says, what other brands do you guys personally enjoy?
For myself, Detail Co. is a fun one, and Clean by Pan. Of course, Quiver too. We use the Quiver foam can in here. We use the Quiver gun. We use the Quiver Flex hose because Josh does a great job at designing these things. He's fanatical about how his products work, so they're great. How about you, Nick? And I'll be right back.
I like Detail Co. What I think is Detail Co.'s strength is like they just have great products and great people behind the brand. What I think their weakness is the logos. The bottles don't look as good as I think they could, and this is from someone who owns a detailing company and like realizes that what the bottle looks like matters. And so I've told Eddie and Jamie this, and they know that, and I'm not giving them a hard time. I'm saying these products are amazing. I hope people realize that. Like the Renaissance microfiber wash is what we recommend to everybody. Like you got microfiber towels from us, use Detail Co Renaissance. So I really am enjoying playing around with the Detail Co line for sure.
Yeah.
Carnell asks, does living in a coastal state means mineral cleanse will be more prevalent?
Yes, especially in the upper surfaces of your vehicle. So when you see the beading starting to reduce on the upper surfaces, you need a mineral cleanse.
All right. V Cameron seems like she's a beginning detailer, asking a lot of questions that I think a beginner has.
Good.
Do you have to polish after using water spot remover? I will get into polishing soon. I just started. I want to know everything I can use without polishing.
Yeah, no need. And we have a video on the channel that you can get into polishing for under $100. I think that the name of the video is something to that effect. It's about a 2-year-old video by now, 2.5, but still pertinent. You don't need to buy an expensive polisher. A random orbital polisher or a random orbital sander with the wool pad or the yellow pad does a great job. And you can buy the polisher, the pad, and the polish for under $100.
I think they should check that video out, Ivan. You could just look up DIY detail, polish for under $100 on YouTube, and it would come up. Enzo Gallo or Gallo says, how often can NV be used on paint?
As often as you like.
Extra rice, please. Says, any tips on how a mobile detailer with the winter season slowing down can get customer leads?
Yeah, double down on your Google, on your SEO, and word of mouth. If you're using something like your Rabel as a CRM, you can reach out to your customers as well.
Spend money to make money. I joined this BNI business group. I was just in a friend's office, and I was like, wow, I'm like admiring the paint because I just painted my own room. And I'm like, who did the paint? And he's like, oh, a guy in my BNI group. So what happens is he's a business. He knows other people in this BNI networking group. Like he has the guy in his group do the job for him when it comes time. So that might happen in the wintertime. BNI is worth the investment, but it is a weekly time commitment. It's been a while since I've done it, Ivan, but that's one of my tips. Okay. EM Ramirez says, any tips for putting C6 on top of Envy?
You need to polish it off.
Yeah, before you put C6 coating, you mean?
Full wash, decon, and polish.
Joel Bachilia says, what's your favorite window cleaner for between washes?
Just the rinseless wash or crystal clear. Yeah. If it's between washes and I don't have a bucket of rinseless wash available, then I'll take the crystal clear.
Crystal clear. If folks are just joining the live, Ivan just finished the wash and protected it with quick beads and Envy very quickly, very effortlessly. Now he's sitting here, answer your questions. Car Wash Channel asks, is the car wash brush back in stock? Yeah, the Perfectly Safe brush is back in stock, and we are happy for that. Jez Lucas says, can you please do a video on the wash brush and show how it is safe?
We have. So if you look back about 2 months ago, we did a wash on a slant nose Porsche that is extremely soft paint, and so that is a testament to how safe the brush is. The brush is actually our safest wash media.
And I'm just laughing because we literally just did a live demo on the brush, and I mean,
yeah.
Unless we just scratched it up and didn't show people, I think that's a demo that shows how it's safe. And we, of course, are not scratching up cars here. Zondu says, what would you recommend for control arm suspension components to prevent rust or salt damage?
Use something like fluid film.
EM Ramirez says, what detail spray from DIY Detail can help prevent water spots?
Preventing water spots comes down to the wash technique. But Quick Beads, it contains a bit of graphene. So that the reason we have graphene in it is to help reduce the chance of water spots.
All right. Kendall says, Kendall Schwiega, I have a question about the tire shine brush. Sometimes I get luxury cars. They have those really skinny wheels. Tire shine brush works great for the bigger tires, but how do you tackle, that thin kind of tire face?
So 2 ways. One is do the upper half of the wheel and then roll the vehicle forward or backwards, your choice. Or you can actually put it up on blocks. So in my shops, especially lower cars, we used scissor lifts, so that wasn't a problem. But the times when all the lifts were taken care of or taken, and we had more vehicles in the shop than we had lifts, what we'd do is just put a little piece of 2x10 on the ground and roll the vehicle up onto it, but just making sure that the tire's sticking out of the 2x10 about half an inch, and then you can go all the way around. But you can also use a smaller brush. And we have one coming soon, maybe. We're still working on it, so it's still an R&D.
Ooh, a little bit of tease from Ivan there. A lot of people talking in the comments about how they ordered their perfectly safe brush today, including Kevin L. Thank you. And then Bill Dalton, big fan. Mr. Canada himself says, PSB for easy... That's a perfectly safe brush, by the way. PSB for easy snow removal. Available on DIYDetail.com today, by the way.
For snow removal, probably not. Give it a try, but I don't think it would be a good idea. The foam ones that you can get at Canadian Tire, speaking directly to Bill here, he's in Canada, they actually do a better job than any brush for snow removal. They allow you
Ed
to
Jameson
leave
says polishing...
inch.
Oh, sorry. Ed Jameson says polishing headlights. Can you quickly go through the process?
Yeah. Basically, wash, decon, then decide whether you need to sand or just polish. If they're really yellowed, you'll need to sand. If they're just lightly yellowed, try a polishing step. If it works out, great. If not, then you need to go to a sanding. If they have been clear coated before, then you need to get a lot more aggressive, which includes either sanding or scraping with a razor blade.
All right, Samuel Figueres says, I have a half-inch slice on my yellow polishing pad. This is a great question, by the way, because I think a lot of people have wondered this. What's the amount of damage that these pads can sustain before we should toss them?
Basically, until the pad starts disintegrating, meaning it's leaving little pieces of dust everywhere from the pad, keep using it.
There's a comment here. I can't remember who's who, so I don't know. What's that?
That little slice won't damage anything.
Lou's asking about the bird droppings. This may be the same person from before. Forgive me, but what about heating up the etched bird droppings? He may be referring to like a heat gun or something.
Yeah, you need UV as much as you need heat. So, and spot heating like that is dangerous for the paint in terms of separation down the road.
So yeah, we don't.
Is your friend. Yeah.
Yeah. Alexander Vengard says, "Are y'all working on merch soon? Shirts, decals, etc."
Actually, we are. So that is something that it is coming soon.
Okay. What's the biggest takeaway from SEMA to help us for the upcoming year? That's a Mike Kaufman question.
Biggest takeaway from SEMA is collaboration. In the Thor booth, we had a great time. A lot of companies from different countries, they're working together in the booth. And a lot of other booths around us, people coming over, us going to them. I rarely left the booth, but other people in the booth were walking around more. There's no need for any company to, see another company as competition. I don't see other brands as competition because our competition is the car wash. Our competition is the person that doesn't wash their car. There's a lot of great products out there. Use the ones you like. They're all fun. No one can make a bad product these days because if they do, they're not going to be around for long.
I think detailing like entrepreneurship can be a lonely road. It's you against the world, not necessarily against the world, but it's you washing the car. You bought the products, you learned the techniques, you're doing the detailing. It can be a solo journey for a lot of people for a long time. And being at SEMA, working on this team with you, Ivan, it just makes me grateful to sometimes just being a part of a team. You get so focused on, I got to do it all as a detailer. It's a beautiful thing when you're a part of a team and you're collaborating.
Yep.
All right, Jason Autry says, how to reduce interior fogging. I'm guessing on glass.
Don't use anything hydrophobic and make sure your interior is dry. A lot of people don't know it, but in the winter you can be tracking in moisture with your boots. Also be sure that you have, your heating system isn't on recirculate, it's on fresh air.
I love the recirculate option. Ivan always gives me a hard time about that.
Yeah, it just keeps, your smells that you're creating, it just keeps them in the car for you, Nick. So
beautiful smells, beautiful smells. Okay, Tunnel Time 6 says, will the perfectly safe brush attach to the mitt on a stick?
No, we use a standard an industry standard thread, which is the Acme thread, meaning you can go to any hardware store and pick up a broom handle, a paint roller extension handle, whatever, or you can use our handle. It's up to you. But no, we don't have a proprietary thing. I'm sure someone will be 3D printing one shortly, though, just so you know. Not myself,
Chris
but I'm sure someone is already on it.
Chris Oliveras is asking about our dual action polisher because our cord-free DA is absolutely amazing and it is sold out.
Oh, it's sold out? Ooh, not good.
Oh, in our morning meeting we talked about it. Yeah. I don't know if you heard that.
Oh,
But
yeah, okay.
and I realized we've been sold out on the cord-free DA since SEMA, which is sad to me. So we probably don't have an ETA then, do we, Ivan? If you didn't know, you probably
No,
know what's
and
going on with the shipment though.
yeah, coming soon. But some of our distributors will generally have them. So
We have a list of amazing distributors. How can they find them, Ivan?
on the website, scroll all the way down, and you'll see a distributor list.
Should I put a distributor list in the chat for folks if they're wondering, hey, you know
Yes.
what? I want that
Yeah.
cord-free dual action. It's not in stock. I think I'm gonna do it. I'm living on the wild side, Ivan. I don't know how you feel about that, but I just put it in the chat. That's our worldwide distributor list.
There you go.
Mad Meave 2019. I can't read your face, Ivan. I think you're just serious and concentrating, but I can't. There could be a delay. What is your favorite drying towel? Which one's best for a pickup?
For me, it is, if it's a coated vehicle, whether it's a pickup truck or a car, the drying blanket mini is one of my favorites. One in each hand, and you can do a whole vehicle. If it's an unprotected vehicle that the water is just sitting there, then the drying blanket.
So we recommend applying the adhesion promoter polish before ceramic coating, and we say do this with a dual action sander. One of them that you've used, Ivan, is the Pro TMX or Pro TMX. How do you
Yep.
say it?
I have no idea.
Okay. Well, I feel like Pablo's question is, what speed does Ivan run the Pro TMX on? And I think he's referring to app. So that's why I brought up that context first.
3 to 5.
What's your best advice for people? What speed to run their dual action sander on when they're doing app, adhesion promoter polish?
Just enough to have backing plate rotation.
Flint asks, what was the product that never made it in time for SEMA? Good eye, Flint. Way to pay attention. I appreciate that.
We have a Type 3 of something that was supposed to be introduced at SEMA, but there was a delay. The product is still on the road. It was the packaging, and we didn't just want to show a blank bottle. So, and also I'm not a fan of teasing something at SEMA that we have no specific date on. We had that unfortunate incident last year, and we're still waiting on that product. So.
I still have videos I made about that pad washer that we shall not talk about that haven't been published. And then when I edit a video, you better believe I want that thing getting birthed into the world. And so, yeah, that's been it had some legal issue. Anyway, moving on. Mr. Pinger says, Alexander. Okay, great comment, Alexander. So you're starting his own mobile detailing business in South Carolina. Never been more impressed with DIY products. Look forward to serving my customers. Ivan, do you have any comments on that?
Yeah. Congratulations, first of all, starting your business. Don't underprice yourself, please, and enjoy what you're doing. And don't let your business take over your life.
That's a good point. Lucas Provencher says, how would you say my last name in French? I'm French Canadian in the U.S., and Ivan is spelled Provencher.
So Provencher, I have no idea how you guys would pronounce it in English. Nick, take it away.
Provencher? Anyway.
Could be, yeah.
Craig Peel says the Perfectly Safe brush is back in stock. Hurry, I just ordered one. Now, I would do that before they sell out. I hope they don't, but they're a hot item. So, excellent. So, Car Wash Channel says, when will DIY Detail come out? Foam on, rinse off ceramic products, or invent it, foam on, rinse off ceramic?
We have quick beads for that. You can foam quick beads on and rinse it off.
Yeah, I've seen some people doing these foam on, protection products. I'm like, you can do that with ours, if you so choose. OCG says, besides the lack of cleaning between brushes, what's the difference between this brush and one at a car wash? So he's talking about the Perfectly Safe brush.
Yeah, lots of differences. First of all, the type of flagging, the length of flagging, the bristle density, the bristle diameter, the bristle length, and what the bristle is made of. A lot of those brushes that you see at car washes are polypropylene. Ours is a nylon brush. Our flagging is 3/4 of an inch. Some of them don't even have flagging. And a lot of them are mechanically flagged. Ours are acid dipped, which actually gives you a better flagging. And, you know, and more and more and more. Just touch one of those, touch one of ours, and you'll immediately see the difference. If you're part of our Facebook group, I posted a picture earlier today of our tire dressing brush beside, or it was yesterday, but beside a competitor's, what they're selling as a tire dressing brush. And you can definitely see the difference.
Ben and Beta is about an hour from me, and I owe you a phone call, Ben. You want to come see the new garage? I'm just getting moved into this place. I'd love to have you come up, and maybe on a warm day, we wash the car, we make some content. I mean that. It's just, it's a time of transition, good sir. It's a time of transition. Okay, so a lot of people saying hello, good times. All right, X6M Go says, what's a detailing chemical brand that isn't sold at Thor that you guys recommend? I would just say the carpet cleaning products I recommended earlier, encapsulation products from, Excellent Supplies where I get them, and then Bridgepoint makes some nice janitorial products. How about you, Ivan?
McKee's has always been a good product line for me. Great people too. So, that to me is as important as the product. It's the people behind it. And Bob McKee, for those who don't know who he is, he's the one that founded AutoGeek way back when. And he's done so much for this industry. And he just kept the product line that kept his name, which was McKee's 37, when he sold AutoGeek. So definitely, that's a great product line too.
I thought I saw something from Nick Rudder today about a new CEO over at I don't know if it's
Yes.
their overall enterprise.
Yeah, so Juan, who actually used to work with Nick and Bob at AutoGeek, is taking that position. And Nick is semi-retiring. Nick is going into ministering. So, congratulations to him. He's found his calling and he's following it.
Okay, I was looking. I'm looking at the website. People are commenting that the rotary is sold out. I'm looking at the DIY Detail 25 millimeter cord free. That's sold out, but the cord free rotary is there, and the rotary corded is there, and our corded DA is there. So it looks like we may have tool only and then a tool and battery option for the cord free DA. Those are the only ones showing sold out on the website for me. So if you're saying that the rotary sold out, I don't see that on my end. Nico,
it might be the cord. It might be the tool only option that's sold out, Nick.
for the rotary.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a possibility.
DIY Detail Max Gloss rotary tool in stock. DIY Detail cord free rotary tool only shows in stock. So I don't see any out of stock rotaries. If that's what you're asking, Nico, I just checked that for you. Just so you know. Mike Wilson says, absolutely love the product. Use them religiously. System works. Curious how you guys create so much content to drop as many videos as you do, but live in areas away from where you make the videos. How do we do it, Ivan?
Well, we batch film. So when we come to Omaha, it's a marathon of filming from early in the morning to late at night for 8, 10, 12 days straight, depending on how many videos and when is the next time we're coming back to Omaha. So we make sure that we have enough content. And then after that, independently, we also make videos. So if you'll notice the videos that we release on Mondays, Nick is not part of those because Sylvia and I travel around a lot. So when we're with other people, we'll make videos and launch them there. Plus, we're often invited guests on other people's channels and podcasts. So that's why you see so much of us.
All right. Ben and Beta says, just applied the A3 stack. Ben, I saw it on social media. It looked fantastic. Felt like the Lake Country pad washer sort of wrecked a new gold standard pad. I'm wondering if it's the Lake Country pad washer or I just used too much pressure to clean it. Or potentially, he didn't add this when polishing.
You may have used too much pressure.
Yeah.
And what were you using in the pad washer? Were you using rinseless wash or were you using the powder that they provide?
Oh, good question. TC Mod says, do I have to use DIY waterless wash when I wash pads, or can I use a different rinseless wash?
No, so you don't want to use the waterless wash. You definitely want to use the rinseless. You want to use a hybrid or surfactant-based rinseless, not a polymer-based rinseless.
Mike Wilson, I'm going to ask you a tough question, Ivan. Does Ivan own DIY?
I'm part owner of DIY. So is Nick, and we have other investors too.
Absolutely. Jimbo Slice says, can I request a video? Best practice with dealing with paint transfer and or scuffs from a fender bender. Thanks for all you do.
Yeah, as soon as we get one to be able to do that, we will. So a lot of people don't realize that, there are things that you might have a specific issue with that we can't recreate unless, I'm not going to run my car into a post or another car, and I'm sure Nick won't do it, willingly.
Wait, Hudson Archer just had an issue. We should tell Hudson to make a video about that.
There you go. But basically, what we do is when we come to Omaha, I reach out to people that have their vehicles for sale on Facebook Marketplace and say, hey, would you like a free detail? And out of the 200 or so people I contact, we might get 10. The other vehicles are from dealerships. And we're very grateful to the dealerships that, they provide us cars. But when we come across issues, we do that. Since the beginning of the channel, we've been wanting to show how to do oxidized single stage paint. And the first vehicle that I was able to do it with, I flew out to California to Josh V's place to do his because they're hard to find. And people that have them don't necessarily want them detailed. So,
I mean, I saw a horribly dirty truck on the road outside of our shop one day, Ivan. I'm like, could we do this for a wash? And they were just grabbing some beers from the local brewery. And they kind of chuckled, and you could tell that they wanted their car washed, but they were just sort of off put by strangers saying, I'll do this for free. And they didn't take me up on it. And I was like, you would charge a lot of money to really detail this truck. And these guys probably wanted it, but said no in the moment. And it was just like, it's just a weird thing of meeting people with what they want and what you want at the same time. So yeah, I agree with you. It's harder to find cars than you'd think, strangely. Yeah. A question from Russ Chu. Let's get back to it. 8-year coating or C6 Hydrolite for coating wheels?
For the wheels, go with the 8-year.
Team Rami says, what's the indicator of when to replace my soft flag tipped wash brush?
When the flag tips are no longer flagged. So when you've worn it down to the nylon bristles.
Hip Hop Hillbilly says, just got a new 25 Nissan Frontier. Planning on doing a clay bar treatment and hand polish. No power tools and ceramic coating. Should I use a more heavy clay bar or a normal Meguiar's bar? Okay.
Use the least aggressive. It's a new vehicle. And a hand polish, please. Go and buy yourself a palm sander and a pad and some polish. It'll be so much easier for you, and you'll do a much better job. Someone mentioned that the Harbor Freight Random Orbital right now is on sale for $15. It's worth the $15 investment, even if you only use it once in your life.
Naya Benjamin says, if I only have the DA polisher, can I use the red jeweling pad and gold standard polish to remove a spray sealant? The idea is to put on a 5-year ceramic coating after.
Use the yellow pad. The red is too soft. It doesn't cut
That's
enough.
Yeah, Hip Hop Hillbilly back with another question about the Frontier. Just want to get through this winter, and then next summer or spring, hopefully we'll have a rotary or random orbital for a full paint correction.
If it's new, you don't need a full paint correction. You just need to get whatever's on the surface off, make sure that it's clean, and apply the coating, and that's good.
Mike Kaufman says, when's the next Envy product release?
We're hoping January or February. It will depend on things like labels, etc. The testing is done, so it's just everything that goes around it.
Ben and Beta says he had Rensel's washing the pad washer. He also wants to know how to become an investor in DIY detail.
We're a privately owned company, so right now there's no, we're not publicly traded, so we're not looking for investors at this time.
Right. No stocks to buy, or interest to really sell at this point. Can I use the polishing pad wet? Luca Red 0501 asks, like right after I clean it.
Yeah, definitely. You want to use a damp pad. You don't want to use it wet. So you want to spin it out at the high speed your polisher will go, but you definitely want to use a damp pad.
Is winter in Nebraska, Jay asks, as intense as Quebec?
Sometimes more intense. One time we were here, it was like minus 30. So, and back home in Quebec, it was like, above freezing. So yeah, they're about at the same level in terms of, the parallel. So yeah, Just
I've
depends on
never.
the weather movement.
I don't remember ever being colder than Nebraska last January or 2 Januaries ago. It was right before we had the shop renovated. It was ridiculous. All right. Flint
Yeah.
says, can you answer my question I asked on the SEMA Live before EC interrupted with his polishing challenge? Can you explain the differences with rinseless polymer surfactant hybrid? Why use one over the other?
So a straight polymer, great at moving the dirt down to the bottom of the bucket, not great at keeping your wash media clean. A straight surfactant will keep your wash media clean, but generally doesn't have as much lubrication. And a hybrid is just the best of both worlds. Now, there are some hybrids that are polymer heavy. There are some that are surfactant heavy. The ones that are polymer heavy will leave something on the paint. The ones that are surfactant heavy, the surfactants win, and you're leaving nothing on the paint.
Lou says, have you ever heard
And
of cleaning
and what
tires? Oh,
what
go ahead.
one thing, Nick, if we miss your question during a live, please put it down in the comments, not the live chat, but in the comments below. That is guaranteed to get answered. So
Yeah,
you
because
don't have to wait till the next live. Yeah.
exactly, because we may wrap up and we'll just try to catch up here, trying to keep this at about 90 minutes. Lou said, have you heard of cleaning tires with lacquer thinner?
A great way of damaging your tires.
TN says, is a pad done after using on single stage paint?
No, it's just stained. Clean it, keep using it. The staining, whatever color from the single stage, will actually wear its way out of the pad.
X6M Ghost is giving you a counter or a follow up question. He's like, Ivan, McKee's is sold at the House of Rags. You didn't answer my question.
Actually, they used to be sold at the House of Rags. They're no longer
Oh, they
sold at the
did?
House of Rags.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's fair. It's a fair. You answered no. If they're no longer sold there, let me
Yeah,
do a
but
little research.
another one, Detail Lab. So D-TAILLAB.
Okay. If I look at
Local branding.
yeah, McKee's 37 is at least I can click on the brand page, and I see their products. So now you've given us a different one, Detail Lab. There you go.
Yep.
Gotta keep you honest, Ivan. Gotta get the people asking the questions. Good answer. I've never tried their products. All right. So did we answer this one about pad single stage? We did this one.
Yep.
Okay. Peter Gomez says, would you consider doing a golden ticket like in Willy Wonka? Winners get to go to the factory, DIY garage workshop, or get mystery boxes. That would be insane.
Actually, we did have mystery boxes in one of our previous lives, and yeah, we're planning. So this building that we're in now is actually for sale, and we will be moving to another location where we can hold trainings, etc. Right now, this place is actually too small. So we have where we film, we have the office, and that's about it. And we can get one car in here, two at most. So what we're wanting to do is build out. I'm actually going to see it this Sunday, Monday. I mean the hopefully new location for DIY.
No one's heard about that yet, Ivan. A little teaser. Acquire a Hobby says, is it safe to polish a hood with hundreds of rock chips? Some bigger, but mostly very small.
There's a lot of kits out there for rock chips, so find one and go for it. It's not that difficult to do.
What's the new Envy product? Says Bill Dalton.
You'll find out when we release it.
TC Mod says, I know you guys probably can't say much, but any Black Friday, Cyber Monday deals coming up similar to last year's deals?
Well, we've had Black Friday deals going since the beginning of the month. Currently, all our kits are at 25% off at the moment. So that is our current deal this week. Next week, there'll be another deal that we can't disclose. But right now, all our detailing kits, including the stack kits, are 25% off. Of course, the discount shows up in your, when you go to checkout. Don't expect it to show up until you go to checkout.
Chelsea Bailey says, do you ever repaint scuffs, scraped areas on cars? If so, could you make a video on it?
I used to. That was part of what we did in our business because we had body shops as well. But it's not really in the scope of DIY detail. But there are a lot of great channels on YouTube that do it.
Ivan, I know it's not me, but who's the best Nick in auto detailing? Yum Cars Nick, McKee's 37 Nick, or DIY Nick?
Ooh, that's like asking who's your favorite child. They're all individually different. They're all great people, and they all have a passion for this industry and helping others. So to me, they're equals.
Good answer, Ivan. Anthony Rapucci. Okay, new location is Iowa, yeah?
Possibly. So, like I said, we're going to look at one on Monday, but that may not be what we choose. So,
Anthony Rapucci says, I decontaminated and polished but didn't finish applying the 5-year ceramic coating. Do I need to repeat the entire process to finish applying the coating?
no, just wash. If it's dusty, you'll want to wash it. If not, panel prep and go for it.
The occasional detailer is back in Utah on December 10th and asked if we're going to do a Walmart parking lot collab. So maybe so. Hit me up on Instagram or something and we'll figure that out. Okay, we're almost caught up. Naya Bingman says, thanks. Naya Bingiman says, thanks, Ivan, for the answer. Then I use yellow pad to remove the sealant. Then can I use the jeweling pad to finish in the DA to get more gloss or not necessary?
Yeah, a test spot will tell you if you're actually going to get more gloss or not. You may not get more gloss. The yellow pad does a great job at finishing.
What's the we're almost going to catch up here and I think we're going to wrap it. What's the weight of our polishers, Ivan?
Under 6 pounds.
What's better, the Iconic or the Legacy sponge?
It's the same foam. Which shape do you prefer?
Peyton 34, I have a new 2026 Chevy Tahoe in white. Should I wait before installing your ceramic coating?
No, do not wait. The closer it is to new, the better it is.
All right. Gary from Remedy says, will you do a garage build audit in the new future place? Would be nice to see a detailed garage build segment.
Yeah, definitely. That's one of the reasons we're going to look at it on Monday is we're going to film the before because when we moved into here, we didn't quite get the before. So,
Mike Wilson's asking about being a part of the team. Are we hiring, Ivan?
not at the moment. But
Diamond. Oh,
always, send in your. We keep resumes, so send your resumes in. You never know.
I think a good team is always hiring, right? You see, anyway.
Yeah.
We're always hiring. If the right person comes along, it's like, oh, we'll find a way. It's one of those deals where it's like, squeaky wheel gets the grease. I think we're about caught up. Let's just finish with one question from Ben and Beta because we're caught up on questions. I know more will come in, but let's just end with this. What's the most frustrated you've ever been in detailing, and how did we handle it? Like you or me, how did we overcome?
Go for it, Nick.
I did this thing where I was polishing this new truck, and I don't know, it's like those silver panels on the bottom, and I just hit it with one quick pass with foam and polish, and it was like a mirror that all of a sudden went dull and it didn't polish away. So not knowing what the heck I did, I had to like order these custom parts off a website, get them in, figure out how to remove those and put them back on. Needless to say, I'm not a handy guy, Ivan. And it was that I just took care of business. I had to man up and pay for it, and without anyone doing it for me, I had to figure it out. So maybe you're out there somewhere and you've had some big whoopsie happen. You pay for it, you own up to it, and you make it right. And I'm not saying it was like some glorious customer service win, but the customer was happy, and I made a mistake, and I'll never polish like a mirror thing on the bottom of a truck again.
Yeah, for me, the most frustration I had was a good customer, that bought a car, that brought it in, bought a used car. I want it polished. The dealership was paying for the polishing because they bought it sight unseen at an auction for the customer because it was a special option group. They brought it in. We looked at it and said, we can't polish this car because someone had put a wipe-on clear coat over top of the scratches, and wipe-on clear coats, they fill a bit of the scratches, but not much. So the customer was very distraught, and the dealer obviously, they bought it at auction and it wasn't disclosed because that's not something that you really see unless you're really close to the vehicle. So the customer was frustrated, the dealership was frustrated, we were frustrated because we could fix it, but you'd have to sand all that wipe-on clear coat off, then polish the paint, et cetera, et cetera. So,
Yikes.
it wasn't worth spending the $7,000 or $8,000 that we would have charged to do that. The dealership didn't want to pay it, so they returned the car back to the auction house, and hopefully the customer found another car later on that they wanted. But yeah, so that was a little frustrating for us.
Thanks to everybody for joining our live chat. The Perfectly Safe brush and our extension pole handle, they're live. You can buy them in a bundle discounted together, or you can buy them separately. If we didn't answer your questions in this comments, as soon as this is no longer live, the YouTube video will live, and there will be a comment section there. Ivan answers every single one of them. So if you didn't get your comment answered, if I missed it, just give it 5 minutes, refresh the page on this live, ask the question there. Ivan will get to it. Any final thoughts, Ivan?
Yeah, remember our Black Friday sale continues, so 25% off all kits until Sunday. And then if you're part of our email list, you'll find out what the next sale is for next week, but it's a fun one too. And from Black Friday forward, Nick and I will be having a bit of a competition, so you'll want to watch for that too.
Stay tuned, everybody. We love you all. Thank you for your time, and we love answering your questions. We'll see you very soon.
Thank you very much.
Bye.